Yo, people. This is Rogie. I am going to show you how I do icon design, and specifically, I'd like to share with you how to do a specific technique that has been helping me a lot lately. I don't really even have a name for it. I'd like to call it maybe like uh, multiple grouped alpha trans. I don't even know what I want. I don't. I don't have a name. I have no name. I have no names for this. Um, I'm trying to come up with a name though, like con- alpha converted uh, independent shape icons. Maybe that's a good one. Anyways, let's jump into it instead of me acting like a total idiot. Okay, so here's the deal. I'll probably say a lot, and the other thing is my I've got a cough, so I might clear my throat a few times. So if it's annoying, just turn off the sound. Try to observe. Okay, so this is one of the icons that I'm working on for my fine goods store, and it's an anchor icon. Uh, Probably chose it because I just watched Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest with my son, and um, unfortunately, we're not doing the Kraken today, which would have been a fantastic icon to work on. But I guess the best way for me to do this is to explain it quickly and then to jump right into reassembling this icon. Um, One issue that I was finding when designing icons, and I'll do an example right here, is that um, typically the way I would start is that I would just start drawing shapes, and I don't think this is a bad way to do it at all. Let's say I'm going to do a really wonky happy face, okay? So I want it to be white. I want him to have like black, sort of like Pac-Man eyes, and let's say I want mixtures, okay? Say I want like a mixture between these are fills, okay? So these are just shapes, but this is just a line with a stroke on it. So, yep, there we go. It's clearing the throat. Sorry about that, guys and girls. So here's the deal. Typically, what now I want to do is convert this to a vector, and in order to do that, I have all these shapes that I'm working with. And say I wanted it to be like this object. I wanted it to be semi-transparent so that when I change background colors, say to like a blue color, obviously the blue is going to shine through. This one it's not. So this is how. Let me clone this object. I'm gonna hold Alt on all these objects, select and drag. This is how I would typically go at it. I would take these objects in Fireworks and I would punch them. Now what I'm doing is I'm hitting Control P, which I've had as a binding to modify Combine Paths punch. You can see that my bindings are right here. But when I go to take a stroke and I go to punch, it didn't quite work. It kind of did, which is strange, but it's actually it's actually even cuter. It looks better. Fireworks is amazing. But that's not typically how it works. The stroke, you have to come over here in the path panel and alter paths. There's this third icon over. It's convert strokes to fills. So now I have a fill, and I would take these two objects and I would hit punch. Okay, so now let's kind of do. I'm gonna change up the canvas background color here, and let's do this. Let's take these and just set them to the color of the back so I can demonstrate something for you. Oops, wrong color. I already am seeing a glaring, huge issue here. And I think it's pretty obvious. The one on the left here, the one that's just a vector shape now, a composite path is what they call them. The eyes look smaller. The mouth, you can see, is much more faint. You can see the mouth here actually is it actually has some weight to it. And this issue is an issue of creating a composite path out of it. The issue further has problems, or this technique over here with the composite path has further issues that like it's hard to edit this. Like if I wanted to slide the mouth over, I have to individually select points. It's a big pain, but then now I have to slide it like that. Okay, what if that was wrong? Now I have to go back and individually select points again. If the icons any is complex at all, then it's going to be even harder to select points. Let's say I wanted this eye to be bigger. I'm going to go select individual points. I'm going to come down here to scale points individually, say 102% scale up in width and height. And noticing even scaling that really isn't producing the large size eyes that I have over here. What if I wanted to make the head smaller and say I just transformed it? I wanted to go 98%. Well, now it made even the mouth smaller, all the eyes smaller, and you can see these. It's compounded now. Like, it just becomes problematic. So one thing that I found that's really cool. Let's do this. I want to retain all these shapes as individual items, but I still want to edit this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to black. Okay, imagine black is completely full visibility, and these guys I'm going to set to white, and white, let's imagine, will be completely transparent. I'm going to take all these and I'm going to now group them as one group. I have it as Apple G, Command G. So obviously this isn't what we want, but I want to show you a cool handy thing that I've been doing. If I go to Filters, Other, Convert to Alpha, all the white pixels become transparent, all the black pixels become fully opaque. So I still want it to be white, so now I'll go to Filters, Adjust Color, Color Fill, or you can do gradient overlays or anything like that. But notice now that I have exactly what I wanted in terms of color and transparency, but I have fully editable shapes. So on this end, it's harder for me to move the eyes. Like, I gotta individually select things. Say I want these eyes to be smaller. Okay, I want them to be 80% of what they are. And this one as well. I'm individually selecting objects. What if I wanted to transform them down here in the properties panel? Say by hard setting width 4, and this one will make them a little zanier, 6. That's really zany. It's so zany. Okay, yeah. As you can see, this technique on the right, rather than the old technique I had of creating vector objects this way and individually fudging points, it's a lot more powerful. And this is the technique that I've been using. I can create drop shadows now. Check this out. I can create a drop shadow on here since it's semi-transparent. Hey, I'm gonna drop shadow. Since it's semi-transparent now, the drop shadow's coming through, and as you can see, this becomes a really powerful technique for like creating glyphs for buttons. So great technique. So I'm going to try this now. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to deconstruct what I've done with this anchor icon. I'm going to clone it, and then I'm going to ungroup it. You can see exactly what I've done here. I've got this anchor, I've got the little ring on top of it. This is the transparent area, the white. I've taken all of them, these individual objects, I group them together. Filters, Other, Convert to Alpha. Filters, Adjust Color, Color Fill. Change that to white. Now, what I want to show you is, what if I wanted this this ring on the top? I want it to be a little bit more oval shaped. I can actually transform this from within the object. And you can see how quickly editable that becomes. And that's still really good looking. But now it's a more, I actually like that. That's more impressive to me. I like it more. Let's just say I wanted these little rings here at the end of this post. I wanted them to be a 2 pixel, or 2 by 2. I could create 2 by 2 very quickly. Let's just say, maybe we'll just undo that. Let's just say these little spikes at the end of the anchor. I wanted them to be a little bit more spiky. I can take it like that. I can delete this one. I can now take this object, hold Alt, drag over. I have a binding for switch horizontal or flip horizontal. Flip it horizontal. Done. I'm loving this technique. But I just wanted to give you, before I leave, a quick pros and cons of this. The pros are quickly editable. You can explode your object into a ton of different pieces. it's not such a destructive behavior as creating a huge composite shape because now you have individual shapes to work with. So those are all great pros. The cons, and probably the only con I really see to this, is the fact that if you're trying to create icons for people that are for sale, that are vector objects, that you want to actually release the composite vector, like the EPS, you're going to have to make these a composite vector, and then you're going to have to fudge the pixels and work with those to get the right appearance back again. But the cool thing about this is that these are still fully vector. So I have this anchor here. Let's just say I set the height to 44 or 88 or 200. You can see that the full vector shape is retained. I'm really glad I was able to do this. I hope that you guys enjoy it and can learn a lot from it. Thanks a ton. Peace out.